Hello, I thought I'd make a video to explain a few things and give you living proof through my personal testimony of what Archaix is showing on the formula for manifestation. It's so simple, it's just two paragraphs. And of course, it can come with objections and objectives. It's interesting, the words. The object, well, it can be you object to it, you put up resistance because you don't believe it's possible to do. But it can also materialize in an objective fact as well. The very thing you wish for that you get. It's from having that pole shift inside oneself. So let me just start off by giving you a recap. And all these particular days have got one thing in common, which I'll talk about afterwards. So the situation is like now, and I'm down to the last cat food, the last tobacco, whatever it happens to be. I need to go to Monchique to get more. And what has often happened, it's like there isn't the funds available to get the things I require. So one particular instance, 4 minutes before I was about to leave, I'd already got the push bike out the shed. I put the clothing on because it wasn't like this time of year. So I'm almost ready to go. I've got the things I need with me, like the phone and various other bits and pieces. And I get a notification, you've received a PayPal payment for a tarot card reading. Well, I managed to have sufficient funds to get what I needed. On another occasion, I've set off towards Monchique. I've got about halfway. And out of nowhere, as it were, somebody I'd never seen before pulls alongside in their car and just starts talking to me. It actually comes out in the conversation, we are of the same blood type as well. It's like, you just can't make this up. And just as he's left, he's given me 40 euros, which again, I'm able to get the groceries that I needed. Then there's been another occasion where I've actually gone all the way to Monchique. I've been sitting there having a cup of coffee. Still no sign that anything is going to change. And I've had a notification or I've had a donation. That happens slightly more, and now I have signs out to bring awareness to the cat sanctuary. Every little helps, as it were. But all three of those scenes share one thing in common. I couldn't help notice 3:33 just came up on the timing. What drew my eyes to notice that? Because it wasn't a conscious thought to check the time. The one common denominator in that is because I've taken the future and I've turned it into the past. Because in my mind, I've already created out the scene where I'm back here. I'm satisfied that I've got the things that I required. And I'm sitting here content, having a cup of coffee, and I've discharged it by saying it was nothing. Because I've not allowed doubt or fear to creep in. Now, it does take practice. It's taken me a good 4 years to sort of find that balance inside oneself, because it doesn't mean those thoughts are not going to come up, that what if it doesn't happen this time, or those little doubts that will try and creep in. Just acknowledge those doubts. They're like a petition of 1,000 signatures being handed over to local government or something. and you treat them in the same way. It's like, I acknowledge that feeling, but there's no place for that feeling. Because the second part of this manifestation formula is the identity. The identity that you're putting out into the world. Look at the material world and how that is very much reflecting you've got to have an ID. And the ID, the real ID, is the idea. You take the individualized definition, we can call it, and we add EA. Well, what is EA? EA is Ea, which is another name for Enki, which is said to be our creator. So you're taking the EA has been given an individualized form with the ID. Nothing to do with the external world. It's all going internally. It's like, individually, I've created a scene of the future, but I'm now seeing it as it's in the past. You're flipping the polarity on things. If we look at this in terms of tarot cards, you're moving from 6 of rivers, the birth of the idea. You've got the flow, and this is potential that is waiting to emerge. It's like the magnet. The center of the magnet is the dielectric, because the thoughts are the electrical part. The thoughts that are going to have things such as doubt, worry, and fear. They're electrical circuits. So the dielectric in the magnet is the potential. The magnetism is the outward manifestation. And just like that famous mushroom cloud, that's exactly the same as a magnet. It's a toroidal field as well. It is the free donut to go for. Look again what the material world is showing. You can get, if you go along with this, you can have free donuts, sugar coated as well. But they're not the donuts that you require. The donuts, well, do not do that. The donuts are the recognition of that magnetism that is inside of you. So that potential is coming out. Now, what if I was to tell you that 1 and 1 can make 1? To which most of you may say, well, no, 1 and 1 makes 2. Well, not if it's bar magnets. What is it that attracts those magnets together? It's not the externalized force of a magnet, the externalized energy that is attracting. It's from the very center point where there is no magnetism. It is the it is the path of least resistance. That's what draws magnets together. It's dielectric to dielectric at its core. That's basically what we are. We're like magnets with a dielectric inside of us. The extrinsic of the magnetism and the dielectric is the electric. The opposite of the dielectric is the electric, because the electrical thoughts, that is the resistance that we create from having worry, doubt, or fear. Where there is no loss, where there is no repulsion or interference, where there is a clear path, where it's the dielectric that comes together with the dielectric. So 1 and 1 makes 1. It's all going on within oneself, because you have the 2 hemispheres of the brain. So you have a 1 and a 1. It's why a lot of people are seeing the 111. It's a reminder of this. So with the manifestation, it requires memory. So again, the beauty of the etymology to all of this, if we break that down, it's me, more, why. Well, the me is the magnetism and the electrical. The wish is for more of whatever it happens to be. More food, more books for your collection, you name it. Doesn't matter what the object is. It's the wish. You're wishing for more, you're expanding. And the answer is in the why, because it's that character shape of the letter Y is basically the crucified Christ. But you're lifting yourself off of that cross. You're asking why, because you're using the power of imagination. You're creating the future. It's what I've said on video before about being a Time Lord, being able to collapse time. In that sci-fi series, Doctor Who, there is the blue box, the TARDIS, which is bigger on the inside than on the outside. Just consider what that is really saying. The Doctor Who, well, isn't that a question we all ask ourselves at times, or have done? Maybe looking in the mirror, who am I? Well, the answer is in that question. It's I who am. So this is a card that comes out a lot. This to me is what I call the Phoenix card. It's the place of birds. I think it's a perfect representation. You've got this spiral, but now you've got like the Kundalini rising, the Phoenix rising. You're able to see the higher view of things. You're going up into the imagination. You're creating for yourself. And if you look at the sort of swirling pattern, it's down here on Earth. It's acting out here. It's getting that identity in this reality. And of course it will lead to this. The ultimate in the major arcana, the Shining Woman, in this particular deck. But again, you have like the aura. It's the magnetic field. It's the toroidal field of your energy. It's a theme in these cards. Here's a good one, 10 of Trees. Finding that you are the center of your being. You've rooted yourself within yourself. You have that recognition that the external is just a reflection and you're putting out into that reflection. You could almost say that the source is just slightly ahead and is laying out the scene, and then is coming into the scene in an individualized form through the sun, through each of us, to then play out in that scene. It also makes it a much more palatable way to look at it as well. This spiral theme also comes out in the second, or the number 2 card in the Major Arcana, the High Priestess. Again, there's your discharge vortex, as it were. It represents the divine feminine, which is the creativity, the creative side of us, the nurturing side. And it will lead to this spiral of fortune. Again, another vortex pattern being shown. And also in card number 19, the sun. You could see that as radiating out, but you could also see it in a way as being drawn in. And what I also see in this card, there's the pineal gland, there's the 2 eyes of the 2 hemispheres, the sun and the moon. So it's the sun behind the sun, it's the other sun, as it were. I hope this makes sense. But I mentioned the vortex, and I don't feel I went into that enough in the last video. Now I've moved a playlist across from the old channel, so it's now in this present channel called The Heart. And the heart does have a double vortex. So it sort of makes sense in this physical reality where we have a wish for something, we create something, then it has to be discharged with the second vortex. That's the sort of, it was nothing. Because it's the excitement of the anticipation is discharged in, well, I've got that now, let's go on to something else. It's to do with expansion. It can be taken in the material sense, obviously in an extreme as hoarding, but it's about spiritual growth. So I've been putting myself through this for the last 4 years, probably longer, just purely going with this visioning, creating the future and then painting it as a picture in the past. I've given you 3 examples on a very sort of basic level. But before, or whilst you're maybe doing practice baby steps at this, because it does require practice. It's like learning to walk. It has to get to the point where it becomes second nature. It becomes effortless. This is where to take this. That it doesn't require an enormous amount of energy. It doesn't require a lot of work at all. In fact, there's more energy put into the doubts, worry and fear than there ever is in the manifestation. It is simplicity itself. The answers are always simple. That is a pattern that is definitely much coming out with all of this. So here's a suggestion for you. Now, a lot of people do recoil in horror at this idea. Take your cell phone, your mobile phone, your handy. Record yourself. Make a little video. Do it as if you have got a YouTube channel, whether you have or haven't. But it's not for anyone else to see. It's to break pattern and overcome that uncomfortable feeling. Because we're not getting feedback when we're just talking into a phone. If I look back at my earliest videos, I'm very sort of nervous and very conscious of this, because you're not getting a response when you're talking into a phone and recording yourself. And it can seem very uncomfortable. But again, it's a perfect example. With practice, it becomes second nature, so you don't think any more of it. You don't have that self-consciousness, but you have that internal consciousness about it all, which I hope actually comes across. That's the intention anyway. But it's not for me to know how you see what's coming across. But that's down to you if you want to give feedback, critique the video. But the first step is critique yourself. Record yourself. Play it back. Sit with the discomfort of it, because you're going to learn a lot. Because the identity that you assume when you do this manifestation technique, well, if you can't be comfortable with seeing yourself being played back to yourself, as it were, then I feel that there's something not right inside. If you're not comfortable with being able to sit with yourself, to be able to see yourself. So there's a little practice step you could take, but also work on this 2-step manifestation process as well. It's not going to do you any harm to try this, because this world is not what we've been told. We are far more than we are suppose ourselves to be. So the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is, it's not to get to some point of great material wealth where, just let's take this to an extreme. I've got the sort of lifestyle of Tsar Nicholas II, where I'm being waited on. I'm living in this great big palace. I'm dressing in formal clothes, and I'm disliking this whole idea of that. Yes, the sort of the finery and the opulence in some ways is appealing, but then what? There's that discharge of disappointment. I'd rather, I come back to what Alan Watts says about life is like a dance. Enjoy the moment. It's not about getting from one side of the dance floor to the other. It is about enjoying the experience. So I like this slow pace. It's a case I have to go with the flow of nature, because it is something of a heat wave here. I'm sitting here. It's like I might as well have done a workout. This t-shirt is damp already. This is just sitting in the shade. But it's that effortlessness of it all that really comes through. A long way to go, and I like it that there's a long way to go, because I don't want this sort of instant success in the material sense. I'd much rather just keep going at this pace, gaining more experiences, building up a bigger portfolio, so I can help more also find it for themselves and explain things hopefully in relatable ways, so it makes sense and it builds upon this two-step manifestation formula from Archaix channel. The link will be in the description to this video for that. It's when we hear all these things, it can be sort of first off that disbelief, but I can certainly assure you from my own me more why, my own memory, by playing with the memory, by taking the future and painting it into the past, that this does work consistently. Because I've been in this position many times previously where, running out of funds here, where's the next funding coming from? Because I do rely very much on either donations or from requests for tarot card reading. So as much as anything else, let's be honest, this is a sort of an advert for come and have a personalised tarot card reading. You never know, you may get one of these spiral cards come out in your reading. It'll help you find where you're at as well. Most people know what they don't want, but they will actually really struggle to tell you what they do want or what they do wish for, leaving aside the superficial bigger house, bigger car and all this sort of thing. Because again, once you've got those things, there will be that feeling of disappointment. And then it also comes with the added burden of now you've got to maintain and protect these things because somebody else might try and steal it. So it's not about accumulating material things. It is about accumulating experience and then being able to share and inspire others that, look, what we've been told is not true at all. There is a far easier way to do things. It doesn't mean just sitting back with wishful thinking either. It does require taking that active step. It does require assuming that identity. The world is a stage, so see yourself as like an actor or an actress on the stage. You've got to live it, breathe it, become it. Because you'll have this wonderful transformation, that shining woman aspect, that every cell in your body is going to change. Because the chemical makeup is from what is generated from the thoughts. So you have to override the external and replace it. See yourself, here's a film script. Now you're going to edit it and you're going to write a better story for yourself in that film script. It's like, no, this can be done better. There's a much easier way of doing things that is effortless. So I feel that's hopefully done justice to. I encourage you to watch that video that's in the description this two-step manifestation process. You won't go wrong with that, but I'm just adding a little bit more that I hope will be relatable to explain things. And as much as anything else, if you'd like a tarot card reading, links are in the description. It's not going to do it for you, but it is going to help you find where you are in your life, so you can then break pattern and have a far more conducive life experience than the one you may find yourself in at this present moment. But it is going to come from within you through that double vortex of the heart. So I'll put the link in the description for that playlist on the heart as well. Now, don't shoot the messenger on this one, because there is a Greg Braden Gaia video. But I've gone through it again, and take it for what it is, what it shows in that, because there are examples of how this whole thing works with the heart. Everything has to go through the heart, even the manifestation, the heart-brain coherence. Through that double vortex, what you could say is sort of the magic of it does have a physical outplay that goes on inside us with the physical heart and that double vortex. We consider it's the flow. Go with the flow. Well, those thoughts that you have, whether they're positive or negative, is going to circulate around the whole blood system. It's going to pass through those double vortices. So it's about having that right thinking. It is about playing the part of a Time Lord, of collapsing time and then doing a pole shift. So fiction becomes fact, fact becomes fiction. The future becomes the past. So that's the cross as well, the X. So it's amazing how all this etymology comes in. I'm sparked to make more videos on this topic and on the etymology. Anyway, this has gone on far longer than it was meant to, but I hope it puts the point across that you have that power within you. So do check out the descriptions and things in under this video, and I look forward to any requests for tarot card readings, because I would love to help you, put you on that trajectory so you have a better life experience, and then share that out. That's the radiating out part. So with that, I'm going to say unconditional love to you all.